am Harvey. I am the co-founder and the executive director of Angels and Doves Anti-Bully Program. My mother and I co-founded the charity 7 years ago. We are headquartered out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and we do travel across the country to, as he said, educate, prevent, and intervene in school bullying in grades K through 12. My mother, who we just lost a month ago, she and I co-founded the charity together. And she was very, very instrumental in working with autistic children and had worked with autistic children for a number of years and had a magical way of communicating with them. And one day my mother came to me and said, I have this name, Angels and Doves. And I said, oh my gosh, that name is absolutely beautiful. I think that name is just a gift from God. She said to me, what do you think we should do with this name? And in less than 24 hours, we decided that we would embrace the epidemic of school bullying. And again, I say epidemic because bullying has become a horrible hate crime in our schools, and it's even happening in preschool. I even get calls from people who have 4-year-olds in preschool that are coming home. They've been injured, they've been hit, they've been called names, and they're afraid even to go back to preschool, not to mention 3rd grade, 5th grade, 8th grade, and juniors in high school. So we went ahead and we became a 501c3 with the IRS. We are incorporated in the state of Indiana. And I put together a complete program that would help us engage with K through 12 and meet their needs as we went into schools across the country. So again, the reason that we started Angels and Doves is because my mother had seen that 8, 9, and 10-year-old children were actually taking their own lives because they were being bullied at school. That was so hard for me to even comprehend that a child at 8 years old would not only be bullied to that extent, but that would go to the risk and the dedication of trying to find out how to take their own life. That's beyond my adult comprehension, but it was true. And these are just 4 pictures of the many, many, many youth who are actually taking their own lives in their home or in their yard. And now, more than ever, it's actually being kept very, very quiet by our media. Whereas 7 years ago, when we started Angels and Doves, it was being talked about on CNN. It was being talked about on HLN. It was on the news, and we were seeing it. But then what was happening is that our children were getting lost between the cracks after they were bullied or after they took their own life, and the schools became afraid. I'm not putting any blame on anybody. I'm just telling you facts. The schools were becoming quite afraid of liability issues. Why didn't they catch it? Why didn't they do anything about it? Why did they let that 8-year-old fall through the cracks, go home, and hang themselves in their own backyard? Why did that happen? But it's still happening. It's just not being reported to the media as much as it was, and we're utilizing more time and effort to keep it quiet so that nobody gets in trouble. Now, how many of you in this room are familiar with the bullying suicide that just happened 4 weeks ago in New York? Anyone? One person. Daniel Fitzpatrick. Okay? He's listed on our website, angelsanddoves.com. Take a look. He's right there. Bless his little heart. This boy cried out for help. There were people that knew about it. Not enough people stepped in. And now he's gone. And this breaks my heart. It broke my mother's heart. Because when we talk about our youth, 8 years old, 10 years old, even 18 years old, they are not emotionally equipped to deal with the harsh reality of what bullying is. And people will ask me, is bullying really happening? The answer is yes. People are asking me, is bullying different than it used to be? The answer is yes, it is. Why? Because I want to come back, but I want to show you. Okay. The reason that bullying is different is because there is an actual definition of bullying. And the word bullying has been used loosely, thrown around. Everybody's kind of got an opinion. Would you not agree that there are many opinions about bullying? But there's one definition. And the definition is, this is an intentional act against another human being that's done very, very aggressively to bring them down to the lowest form possible with possible intentions of causing that other child to commit suicide. That's the harsh reality of what bullying really is. First of all, again, it is intentional. Make no mistake that when a child is a bully, they know they're a bully. This is a psychological imbalance of power that is happening with our kids. Now, a lot of this, unfortunately, happens because we have a lot of single family homes. Again, that doesn't mean that's bad, but a lot of kids don't have both parents at home. They're home alone after school. They might start running with the wrong kids. They might be so lonely that they'll just go hang out with anybody. They're watching violent video games. Violent. Day after day, night after night. Their iPad, their phone, their computer, it's everywhere. And it's legal. It's legal. So you can't monitor your children or your grandchildren 24/7, right? But you can instill very strong, family-oriented, loving, nurturing, powerful, empowering emotions into our youth if we know the reality of what their day-to-day life is. I don't blame the kids. I actually don't blame the bully. And that's something that has made Angels and Doves quite different. We don't go out to schools or churches or the Girl Scouts or Boys Girls Club or the after-school program and blame the bully. I go there to tell them that I love them, that I want to help them. That's what people need. People need love. They need to be sustained. They need to be empowered. If more people were shown that they were loved and cared about, less people would be incarcerated. We all know that. So if we as Angels and Doves can go out and aggressively fight bullying in our communities, which is my goal and what we do, and start helping to uplift our youth. I was on TV not long ago on TBN, Trinity Broadcast Network. Anybody ever watch TBN? Okay, it's out of Santa Ana, California. It's a Christian station. And they did a 30-minute interview with me, and they gave me that last minute to close out the show, which is something that I've always dreamed of. And I got that moment. Kim, look in the camera, speak that last minute. What do you want to say? And I said, you know what? If you're a mom or a dad or a grandparent or a neighbor or a guardian, the best thing that you can do in the morning before your child walks out of your house is empower them with powerful words about themselves. Send them out the door feeling good about themselves. You look great today. Have a great day. I know you're going to pass your test. I like the clothes that you put on this morning. Say something to a child, whether they're 4 or 14. We have the power as adults to empower our youth and give them the things that they need just through the words we speak. To uplift them, empower them, could change their day as well. If we are all speaking good, empowering words to our youth, it might keep them from becoming a target with the bully, because it will give them confidence if the bully comes to them that day and says to them, you know what, you should just go home and die. Oh yeah, this is what our kids are hearing in school. I hear this firsthand. When I go speak in a school and I'm finished, the kids all want to line up and meet with me, which is great. It's a great feeling. After 60 minutes in front of them, I get a line. They want to touch me, they want to hold my hand, they want to hug me, they want to talk to me, they cry. That's pretty powerful. These kids are the ones who are telling me, yeah, so-and-so tells me every day you should just go home and kill yourself. That's hard to believe, but I'm hearing it firsthand. So again, if we are empowering our children before they walk out the door first thing in the morning, we could keep them from becoming the target. We could also keep them from becoming the bully. Okay. All right. So, in the last 7 years, we have made some very strong relationships. And this year, I have been blessed with working with the American Legion, Post 155 in Carmel, and I'm very happy about that. And some of the other people that we have been embraced by are Cars for Heroes, which is a veterans organization out of Kansas City. They have also partnered with my charity because we're reaching a broad demographic. We're reaching the veterans' children and grandchildren through anti-bullying. They are giving vehicles away in cities across the country to veterans who are in need. So it's a beautiful relationship, and we just formed that this year. I'm also on the board of the Marion County, which is Greater Indianapolis area. I was asked to sit on the board of the Marion County Youth Violence Coalition. We have a pretty high teen violence problem here in Indianapolis. It's high for across the country, and we're really all coming together to fight this. So I'm working with the Indianapolis Police Department, the coalition, and some other people in the community to help combat this. This year also, I was asked to participate in the American Basketball Association. There are 110 teams nationwide, and some of you probably have a team in your city. You may not know about it, but if you do, please know that this professional sporting association is very active in community. And again, they have brought on Angels and Doves as their anti-bully youth component, so that I can travel to all of their cities this season and not only speak at their basketball games, but to also go into their community, speak in their school districts, and take a professional athlete with our program to help give our kids hope, mentorship, and help support them even further through our sports figures. Angels and Doves has been lucky enough to have been mentioned on national TV. We're not endorsing anyone or asking anyone to like who has endorsed us, but anytime that we can reach the masses with a good message, whether it's on a talk show or TBN, I'll take it. All right, I want you to see what bullying looks like in the eyes of the bullied. Whether you're 7 years old or 17, this is actually how children feel when they are bullied. And it's very important to know the signals and the signs of what our youth are going through when they're bullied. They feel very, very intimidated. And please remember what I said earlier. Our youth are not equipped emotionally yet. They say we're not even equipped until we're 23 to really start thinking like an adult, all right? So you look at a little child that breaks my heart, 8, 9, or 10 years old, who goes to school, and they have people telling them, you're poor, you're fat, you're ugly, your mother's stupid, I don't like the car you drive, I don't like the house you live in, you shouldn't be in our school, you don't belong in our school, you don't have any friends, nobody likes you, and nobody wants you here. That's pretty evil. That's pretty evil. They can't register those types of words. Think about it. We're adults. What if you went to work every day and the same 2 or 3 people at your job said these things to you every day, behind the scenes, cowardly, so that nobody else knew? Look at the females in our country that are abused by their spouse or boyfriend. That's bullying. They can't even defend themselves. So you think about a child who's not fully developed, they don't know who to go to, they end up wearing the traits that the bully puts on them. After so many times of hearing something, you take on those traits. You wear them. And if you're not really strong, or you don't have that support system in your home, or you don't have a favorite teacher at school, or you don't have a best friend who you can trust, you have nowhere to go. That's why these children are committing suicide. When somebody continuously tells you, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, at the end of 3 weeks, guess what? You believe you're stupid. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. Why do you think that mothers go into principals' offices and say, I'm taking my child out of this school and we're going elsewhere? Because nobody listened to that mother and that child. 2 nights ago, 8 o'clock at night, I got a phone call from a girl in New Jersey. She made a video asking people to help her. Please, she just wants somebody to listen to her. Yesterday, the mother called me. I was on the phone with her forever. Nobody will help them. Nobody believes them. So again, they choose to drop out of that school district and go someplace else. I don't believe that. I don't believe we should ever have to do that. You know what? Everybody's a taxpayer. You all bought your homes for a reason and live in your neighborhoods because you like it there. Is that not true? Exactly. So your children, we live in the United States. Our children should walk into their school every day and feel safe and secure and have freedom. They should not walk into their school and have fear and tears, or get onto a school bus and be afraid that they're going to get beaten up in the back of the bus while the bus driver continues to drive and all the other kids turn their heads. Not on my time. No. And that's one of the things that makes Angels and Doves so entirely different from any other anti-bully program in the country, is my passion, my mother's passion, what we set out to do. We don't go into a school as cheerleaders. We don't do a dog and pony show. I don't take a sock puppet. I'm there to earn their trust, their respect. I want the kids to feel safe with me. I want them to know I care about them and that I'm there to leave them in better hands than they were in before I came. When I go into a school, I can pick the bullied kids. Then they come to me so I can identify them even further, and I put them in the hands of the proper adults before I walk out of that school so they don't become a Daniel Fitzpatrick in New York. But they become an educated, happy, safe student that heard Angels and Doves, and now they're in the hands of the right adults, and they're now safe. These are some of the places that I have spoken, some pictures that show us being very hands-on. Again, I travel nationwide. I can come to your city. I can work in your district. I can work with your schools. These are more pictures. I've worked with the Indiana State Police, Boys and Girls Clubs all over Indiana. The Girl Scouts of Indiana brings me in for an event every October. The YMCA, I speak at colleges, and in the center, you can see, it's the American Legion. In Newcastle, Indiana, we did a charity ride fundraiser with them. So we like to hold one of our biggest fundraisers of the year as a charity ride, and that's something that we're working on now to incorporate American Legions, and this is something we can do in other cities all on the same day to make it a really huge event and make a big statement about anti-bullying and working with American Legions and veterans and us supporting each other to protect our youth. Okay, we talked about the definition of bullying. I'd like to tell you the 4 types of bullying so that you walk out of here today with better education on bullying. The 4 types of bullying are physical, verbal, emotional, and cyber. Okay, when we talk about physical bullying, we know, obviously, hitting, punching, tripping, scratching, even biting, pushing people into lockers. Those are some of the things that we hear about on a regular basis. But then we also hear about verbal, okay? You look at the upper left-hand picture. Being yelled at, name calling. Again, it's almost like a hate crime. Verbal